Are you in a situation right now where you feel like you can't even move forward, or you just can't think, you can't make a decision, and it seems like whatever you're doing is not producing the results that you want? Well, you're stuck, and I'm here to help unstuck you based on your own uniqueness. Well, this channel is about helping you succeed through your own uniqueness. And there are so many ways to skin a cat, and I want you to be able to apply what I'm teaching you based on your own uniqueness. So whatever I'm going to present to you, I'm going to give examples of the methods you can use based on your own personality or ways of doing things. But I would always recommend that you choose the method and the approach or the way that will work for you. So let me share with you first. Well, it's a back-to-back. I love doing this like side by side. So I'm going to present to you the reasons why you get stuck or why you're stuck at this moment or at this present time, and what to do. And then how you approach it. You have to base it on your own uniqueness so you're not working against the grain. All right. So let me look at my list right here so I don't forget anything. All right, so one of the reasons why we get stuck, because I go through that. Occasionally I go through that. So one of the reasons is when we are overwhelmed. Sometimes there's so many things to do that we just don't even know where to begin. So it may be that you're just overwhelmed. It can also be you're just overwhelmed with so many thoughts going on in your mind. There are people who actually have that brain mechanism, whatever you call it, but it seems like your brain is wired to just absorb so many different things at the same time that it can really clog your thoughts and clog your mind. So that's one reason why you're feeling overwhelmed or you're feeling stuck, because you're just overwhelmed, either with tasks, responsibilities, thoughts in your mind, feelings that you're feeling, or it can really be an overwhelming environment. It can be a physical environment. So again, one of the reasons for being stuck is feeling overwhelmed. So what do we do? What do we do when we feel overwhelmed? The best thing to do is to step back. Okay, if your personality is more laid back, then it's easier for you to step back. But if you're super busy and you're just like running around all the time, you're the type of person who can't keep still. I used to be like that. Then it's really hard to step back and especially if you're analytical, again, that's me, you're always trying to figure things out. If it's not working, you're always trying to figure things out. Well, guess what? The more you figure things out, the more you're going to get overwhelmed. So step back. Step back for a while and leave whatever you're doing. Focus on other things and then go back to it when you're more prepared. It also helps when you write things down. You write the things that you really need to do. And this is before you feel overwhelmed. So after you get out of this overwhelming feeling, when you're feeling good, write down your priorities or the things that you really need to accomplish. Like, especially when it comes to accomplishing things that are most like sooner, like your timetable, your time frame. You have to finish it within the month or within 2 months as compared to what you have to accomplish in a year's time. So you have to prioritize, but you have to write them down. Again, this is easy for people who are process oriented like me, and I do love writing things down. But some people are not good at that. Well, there's always, again, different ways. There's so many ways to skin a cat. So I have a whiteboard behind me, and sometimes it helps me when I put it on the whiteboard instead of just putting it on my notepad. Believe me, I've had so many different notebooks. Like, I don't even know which notebook to use when I'm writing down things that I need to remember. And so I just started using the whiteboard or using my planner. But if you're not really into the writing stuff, you know what? You can record your voice just to remind you, or you can even take a video of yourself Hey, I want to remind you, myself, that you have to do this. This is your priority list. Or you can actually ask the help of people who are pretty good in reminding you. So this is one of my roles as a wife to my husband. I'm also his secretary. I'm the one who's always reminding him, but he tells me, or sometimes he texts me things that he remembers at that very moment that he's doing something, and so that he will not forget, he sends me a message. So there are many ways to do things, but you do have to have a reminder of your priorities so that when you're feeling overwhelmed and you look back at the list, you can refocus. Because sometimes feeling overwhelmed is also the result of getting distracted. You know how sometimes even you start doing something and then there's just so many distractions. I mean, hello, I work from home and there's just so many distractions every day from, oh, that countertop in the kitchen needs some wiping. Oh, I have to do this. Oh, the carpet is, I have to vacuum. And so there's just so many different interruptions or distractions when you're working from home. And sometimes that can make me feel overwhelmed because I'm not really accomplishing anything. I'm just moving around. So going back to my list will pull me back to what I should really accomplish. Okay, so the second reason why we get stuck is information overload. These days, it is so easy to have too much information. I mean, you Google it, it's there. So many podcasts, so many vlogs, so many blogs. My goodness. Even the channels these days is ridiculous. Like you don't even know which channel to watch because there's just so many different options. And so these information loading is just, it can really keep you stuck. Like you can't even decide. Honestly, you can't even move forward. So my advice is, if you're trying to research something, and you're looking for information, apply it right away. And I am saying this to myself as well. I'm preaching to myself because sometimes I can get stuck. And so if you're like me, you will be able to relate to this. Sometimes I can get stuck in the process. I'm researching because I love researching. So I research how to do this and how to do that. And before long, I have 10 different options on how to do things and I get stuck. And so I've learned that when I'm researching something, I have to apply it right away. If I'm not going to be able to use it, then I'm not going to be looking for more. You can have actually 2-3 different options, but unless you have applied that, it's pointless researching for more. Unless you don't really like what you're seeing and you want to find something better, then that's the only reason why you should keep, looking for more information. And stick to the ones that really line up or apply to your goals. If it's something that's not related, drop it. You don't have to listen to everything or watch everything or read everything. And so for you to be able to get unstuck, if the information loading is the problem or the reason, or overloading, then you have to apply the information right away. Choose which one applies to you now with what you're doing, and instant action, okay, which is also the same as applying the information, but you have to take action right away so that you will not be super loaded with information. And if you're not going to need it, then why look for it? Why look for it unless you stumble upon it and you know that you're going to be needing it someday, then you can save it. I'm talking of documents or videos that you want to watch, but you have to be able to filter the information that's coming in your heads. So for people who are process-oriented like me, this is easy. For people who are more scatterbrained, I know that this can be difficult. But again, if you have a list of your priorities, then it will be easier to throw out or set aside first what does not apply to your list of priorities. This way, you will not be overloaded with information. Another reason why we get stuck is because we just want things to be perfect, And again, if you're like me as a perfectionist, I always want to do things right. I can be an extreme person, sometimes I just want to do things hastily, but then when I take time, I can also take time because I just want to make it really, really good. And there's nothing wrong with achieving or desiring to be excellent. That's one of the things that I can attribute to my success in my business. It's because of my integrity, because I always want an excellent product for my clients. But then again, sometimes wanting things to be so perfect can keep you stuck. So if you're a perfectionist like me, what do you do? Well, remember that you will not be able to achieve perfection until you're in this world. Because honestly, there's always something. There's always something. There's always something that you need to do. Oh, I should have done that. Oh, I should have said that. It's never enough. And so you will not be able to achieve that level of perfection anyway. So when you think that you have done your best, go for it. Release it, launch it, try it. Don't keep waiting until it becomes super perfect, because you're not going to be able to get there. And then you have to remember that practice makes perfect. You have to keep practicing. So even if it does not succeed, you were able to practice. And so that practice, continuous practice, actually leads to perfection. So you just have to keep trying and trying and trying, because you will never even achieve perfection if you're not going to try. Okay, and then the last reason, there's so many other reasons why we can get stuck, but I just want to limit it to what I believe are the most common reasons. So the last reason is comfort zone. So we get stuck in certain ways of doing things, and there's nothing wrong with having a schedule or having things that we really value. Like, my quiet time alone with God early in the morning is like something that nobody will be able to take away from me. That is very, very valuable for me. I need it to survive. I need it like air that I need to breathe. Otherwise, I'm going to die. I mean, seriously. So there's nothing wrong with that being my comfort zone, or for things that really contribute to your productivity. But sometimes those comfort zones that we have actually become an excuse for us not to move forward, and we can really get stuck in certain ways of doing things, even if it's not working anymore. And this is why there are people who stay in abusive relationships no matter how difficult it is, because there's no other option for them that they are familiar with, so they get stuck in the comfort zone. So if this is the reason why you are stuck, because you are the only one who can really answer the question on why you are stuck. I'm just presenting the different reasons. So if you are stuck in that comfort zone, there's no way of knowing what's out there without trying. Again, it depends on your personality, of course. For those who are more adventurous and risk takers, it's not really a problem for them. But for people who really get so attached to what they're doing or what they have, or where they live or what they do, it's more difficult to make a change. So if you are that kind of a person where it's not easy for you to make changes, then do little changes. Do something that you can achieve that's not very fearful. Another tip I can give you, if there's fear in you, is to confront that fear in your mind. Think about the reasons why you are afraid. Like, for instance, you're scared of flying. You know that you need to travel as part of your goal, but you're just so scared to even be on a plane. Then ask yourself, what makes riding the plane so scary? Because it may crash. So you can start researching on, why planes crash, and statistics on the number of planes that crash on a regular basis, which is very few, really. There are more car accidents. And then, of course, you can also really, I don't know, call it fatalistic, but I just know that if it's my time, it's my time. I mean, I'm not going to risk my life doing things that I know is very harmful for me. But I do believe that in the fulfillment of my purpose, I believe that I was created by God to fulfill a purpose. And unless I do something stupid, and then I believe that I kind of made it happen, but if I am just going with the flow of fulfilling my purpose, then I know that I'm not going to die unless God wants me to go, unless I'm done with my mission here on earth and whatever it is, I mean, that's me. But what I'm saying is, if you can have that kind of a mindset, if fear is one of your reasons why you can get out of your comfort zone, then I am sharing this with you. But really, there's nothing you can control. You can be sleeping, and then something happens. There are things, so many things around us that are beyond our control. And then another thing too, in relation to the comfort zone, another tip I can give you, and I expounded more about this on my book, Simplify to Intensify. So I will recommend that book to you because it presents 10 different principles 10 different principles on how you can be more effective in your personal and professional lives. So in that book, I explain more on the default. So this is actually connected to the comfort zone because we get stuck in certain ways and it's so difficult to move out of it. So which means that has become our default. So to change, you cannot change the default because it's all here. It is really all here. You cannot change the default without changing it to something new. So you have to know what is your default and then think of a new one so that you can shift to that. So what is keeping you from moving forward? Again, I'm talking about the comfort zone. What is your comfort zone? And what should it change to? So again, the example that I used is if you're scared of riding an airplane. So the default should be something that will help you move from this to this, overcoming your fear. And it's also good to paint a mental picture in your mind of how it's going to be. Like think of the opposite. Like, oh wow, you are actually in an airport about to board the plane and you just feel so excited. So this is just an example of how to shift from here to here when it comes to conditioning your mind or shifting your default. So I hope that this has helped you. As I've said, I'm here to help you get unstuck. And please let me know how this video has helped you. And if there's more that you want to learn from being unstuck, and especially with your own ways of doing things, please let me know by leaving a comment below. And please do not forget to hit the subscribe button and the bell so that you will be notified for every video I make. So please, please, please let me know what you think of this video. And feel free to ask questions, feel free to make suggestions. Thank you so much, and I'll see you next time.